a structure for all of us, right, to engage and enable us the tools, and to keep us together going forward. So I think it's really, really important, and I love that Shauna and Jack have taken the initiative on this, and they've got a whole apparatus set up, right, for us to plug in.
Thank you, Lam.
But for every one of the leaders in this room, because we are all leaders.
That's right.
Every person in here. I second what Jack has already said. We are the ones who need to take ownership. Well, what do we do next? It's saying, we know what to do next. We have already received the message from Bernie Sanders so clearly. So I think the point I'm trying to make about that is enabling individuals to do the best that they can, because for every leader here, there's 50 more out there that are confused and they're not sure how to get connected, right? So technically what that means is signing up for Illinois4Bernie. There's a Slack team. There's all these tech things that we need to plug everybody in to start proposing, start voting, and democratically deciding together what we do going forward, because that's what democracy is. And it's not enabling the tool of the plutocracy, which is super delegate system. And that system is in place in the so-called Democratic Party. And it's such a conflict of interest to call it democratic, because it is actually the enabler of the plutocracy that we are currently in. We don't have a real democracy. We have a false democracy. It's run by the oligarchy. I mean, these people, they have engineered it as such. There was a time in the Democratic Party where the grassroots organizers like McGovern would come through, and they've decided right then and there that it was not going to be a democratic process anymore. So this is what's happening now in our community. When we see it happening, a real democracy, I think that's what we need to start thinking about. But we have to envision how to enable the individual epiphany, right? Because volunteerism is great. We're out there, we're volunteering for Bernie, we're talking to folks, but people these days, and young folks, they get their information from the internet. We need to enable some kind of apparatus for them to get to that epiphany stage, right? So that empowers them, and then we give them the structure that they need to go forward, right? I mean, to go forward. That's what we're talking about, going forward past Bernie, because it's not really about Bernie anymore, in my opinion. Bernie wins or loses, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And because he's an infiltrator in the Democratic Party, that just goes to show you, if he can't do it, then we don't need that party. We'll start our own.
Hell yeah!
Thank you, Lam.
Hi, everybody. Well, that was a perfect introduction. Bill Bianchi with Progressive Democrats of America. And we've been working for about 10 years to strengthen the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, and I'm going to tell you, it's a pretty tough job. And with Bernie coming along, everything has changed. Used to be, if you had a phone bank, you had to drag people there, right? And now, I had 2 phone banks in my house. I have to send emails to people to say, don't come. I ain't got no more room for you, please. 20 people in my house, it just doesn't work. And that is a movement. That's the difference between a movement and what we had before. This is really a movement. Now the question is, how do we think of ourselves? I've heard a few people say something about a seat at the table or getting them to listen to us. This is not acceptable, because that implies the same people who are in power will still be in power. If Madigan is in power 5 years from now, or alive, and Rahm is still in power, we've lost. 5 years from now, I don't want to see those old Democrats in power. I want to see Shana in power. I want to see John Lash in power, Sharon Sanders in power. We've got to push them aside. And there's 2 ways to do that. Historically in the American, there's been 2 ways. One is to take over the party that we're already in, which is the Democratic Party. We have to be conscious of that. I don't know how you think about yourself. I think of myself now as somebody who wants to take over the Democratic Party. That has taken over the Republican, evil side of it, but we're side of it, and we need to think of ourselves that way, because if we don't, these Democrats, they all know how to speak progressive talk. They're really good at it. And they can deceive us, and they can outspend us, and they can buy us out, and they can do all that kind of stuff. And they're planning to do that right now. So we have to understand we're in a contest for power. If that doesn't work, then we have to think about what? A new party, yes. Yes, there should be 3 parties really in this country. One for the Tea Party people, one for all the corporatists and the Republican and Democrat, and one for the Bernie people. And we will be the majority. Maybe that's the name, Bernie People Party. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
Well, I have to agree with that last sentiment, especially with the need for a new party. My name is Alec Hudson. I'm a home care worker and an activist with Illinois4Bernie, as well as with Democratic Socialists of America. Thank you. I wanted to make a couple of really quick points about some things we should think about going forward. For one, we need to engage the labor movement more so than we have. Although the Chicago Teachers Union, the Communication Workers of America, the International Longshore and Warehouse Workers Union out west have all endorsed Bernie. Nurses! And how can I forget National Nurses United? On the other hand, Service Employees International Union, AFSCME, and the American Federation of Teachers have all endorsed Hillary. Now, so what this means going forward, meanwhile, what we have in Indiana is, everyone has seen Indiana in the past couple of years with right to work being passed. And in Kentucky, my home state, right to work is looming with our lovely new governor. So what we have to do is going into these states, when we go and travel to states and talk to voters, we have to make sure that they know about Bernie's record supporting workers' rights and opposing free trade. So that's my first point. Second point is we need to, going kind of back to the last point that Bill Bianchi was saying, we really do need to start looking at independent candidates and formations outside of the Democratic Party. Because quite frankly, we can look at taking over the party at the local level or even at the state level. But at the same time, the DNC, these corporatists who control the inner workings of the party, they will never allow for a social democratic movement that Bernie is trying to create to take over. So ultimately, we need to look at independent ward organizations and possibly even third-party runs, as we've seen with people like Shama Sawant out in Seattle. And the third point, we need to start looking at we need to start looking at what happens after the campaign in terms of coalitions of groups like Moral Mondays in the South, Black Lives Matter, that has been seen in the cities like Chicago, like St. Louis, like New York, all over. Because we need to start building not just political pressure, but social movement pressure. And so, in conclusion, I want to invite everybody to Democratic Socialists of America's next meeting this coming Wednesday, because we're a political organization that is dedicated to combining social pressure and electoral political pressure to make a truly left-wing constituency in this country. And so, the next meeting for us will be this Wednesday, 7 p.m. at Harold Washington Library on the 7th floor. Thank you, folks.
In more ways than one, I almost died last year, and it's really good to be here in several senses of the term. Now, my name is Alan, A-L-A-N, the right way to spell it. The last name is Salmi. I'm a Finlander. It translates as your reindeer is dead behind the sauna and starting to smell. I come from a long line of liberals, people who founded co-ops, sort of the pink side of the Finnish immigrant side of things. The second poem I learned was Joe Hill's Last Will, and at about 5 years old. And I was taught from an early age that Republicans eat their young.
They do.
But what I'm here to just mention briefly is my friend Shondell, who's there in the Bernie hat, came up with a really brilliant idea to supplement what we're doing. I've started a Facebook page up. We haven't put anything on it yet. It's called Bernie's Revolution Can't Wait. The idea is, if you're pushing somebody out of a snowbank, if you're volunteering somewhere, put it up on social media, hashtag it, you know, with Bernie's Revolution Can't Wait, or, you know,
Hashtag random acts of Bernie.
random acts of Bernie, and let people know that he's inspiring people to do things. What would it be like if a bunch of people went to a VA hospital wearing Bernie shirts and said, "We're here to help"? That'd be cool. Okay, and what would it be like to spread that by the social media, and eventually mainstream would pick it up, I hope. But it would show people that really Bernie is inspiring people, and that you can have the time to just do things in your ordinary day, but to attribute it to his inspiration. And that we can take this whole idea of helping each other out and continue, you know, and continue work. Why wait for the election? We could do some of this stuff. If the state's already voted, do some things, take our infrastructure and help out the people in Flint. South Africa just started a project where they hang clothing donations on fences so that homeless people have a place to shop and they don't have to dig in garbage cans. And Chicago doesn't have one of those yet. But the website is up and they have templates of signs you can put up. What would it be like if Bernie people organized something like that and then spread it throughout social media? So thanks to Shondell for the idea, and I think that it could be a great supplement to the campaign, and it can keep doing things even after all of this is finished and even after Bernie is president. Why not?
Thank you so much. Everything everyone had to say was so amazing and inspiring, and I'm really grateful for you all coming out today. Just a few words of thanks. I want to thank the Hideout for hosting us. If you haven't already made a donation, we need to cover the expense for this space for today, so please just give a few bucks on your way out. There's a jar like in the buttons case on the table right there to the left outside of these doors. To keep up to date with what we're doing, please sign up at www.Illinois4Bernie.org, and we're sending out a follow-up email tomorrow, probably tomorrow, with notes from this meeting and some more information. I want to thank our volunteers for today: Taylin, Susan, Kelsey, Edith, and Lamb. Thank you so much for helping out. Thank you to our wonderful organizers, Sharon Sanders, John Lesh, Jose Villalobos, and Costin for taking leadership roles on our working groups, and you guys they'll be following up with you who signed up to be part of their working groups. Thanks to Troy LaRabier, Tara Stamps, Carlos Ramirez Rosa for being here. I just have a closing statement, and then I think Jack's going to say something, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Can you tell us about New York?
I'm not sure how we're doing in New York. The last I heard, we were 6 points behind. 6 points down, yeah. 6 points behind.
What poll is that, Jack?
Yeah, I was going to be at it.
Okay, so I just want to talk about the importance of continuing to campaign for Bernie till the convention, through the convention. It is of the utmost importance that we continue to fight for Bernie all the way through to the DNC convention. Let us not focus on negatives like Trump, the media blackout, or Hillary's unscrupulous campaign tactics. We are here to support Bernie for as long as he remains a candidate. We need to phone bank to voters in New York and Pennsylvania. What if we win New York?
If we win New York.
You can even phone bank from home at berniesanders.com/phone bank. They have everything you need there if you have an hour, 30 minutes, 3 hours, please put in some time calling New York. It's going to be amazing if we win. For those folks who are able, please take a day trip next door to Indiana to help out with canvassing in advance of the May 3rd primary. We need to reach out in coordinated and effective way to the superdelegates, to our unions, and to communities of color. Many of us are planning trips to Philly for the convention, some as delegates and some will be out in the streets. But it is also important that we come together and do some real organizing around the convention. For those of you planning to be in Philadelphia in July, there is a convening of grassroots organizers happening just prior to the convention, and we would love for you to be a part of it. So if you want more information on that, if you're going to be in Philadelphia, please take one of these pink flyers on your way out. It's going to be really important. Bernie needs us to win. No matter what happens, we need to stay engaged and active in this political process far beyond the election in order to spark any true change emerging from this powerful movement.
I can't tell you how much, really, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I love everybody for being here, and I'm so grateful to all the people who've helped out. Hideout, Jeremy, thank you so much. But really, Shauna, thank you so much. I love you, and I really appreciate you being so organized, because I'm I'm all over the place, and I can't do this without her. One thing, I just want to let people know, it's really important that Hideout has been so gracious to us. They've really helped us out so much in the past and today. We're going to have to leave right after we're done. We're going to have to actually get out of this room. We can hang out in the front. It's fine.
No. Opposite.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that room is where they're doing the training.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. So we can hang out in there.
Keep the bar room clear because the
Right.
staff's going to be doing a training. You guys can still stay in here and
And also in the front, if you want to hang out in the front. In the front, the porch area. Right,
If
outside.
you want to hang out in the rain, feel free.
Oh, is it raining? That sucks.
Kicking you out on the streets
So
with
I just wanted to be clear about that. So yeah, thank you for, and again, like I just said, she knew and I didn't, so that's how it works.
That's why you're a good team.
Right. No, the reason that we're a good team is because of all of us. Everybody here is a good team, seriously.
We are Bernie Sanders.
We really are. We are this movement, and we are Illinois for Bernie. And it's really important. I'm so really seriously, thank you so much for the people who have called us out. I really so thank you. And I need to say that we can't do this without you. We're working really hard at this, but we need people to. I can't emphasize enough how important it is for you to take leadership on Illinois for Bernie. All right, so Illinois for Bernie, this movement, this group, this organization that's forming today, now coming out of this and moving into the future, to really be able to promote and really lift up, elevate marginalized voices, really raise up this political platform. Yeah, raise it up. This political platform that Bernie Sanders has turned us all onto. It's stuff that we already knew, but now we know that everybody else thinks it too. So I really want to point out that what we're talking about here is not Democratic, it's not Republican, it's not Libertarian, it's not Socialist. This is a platform of principles. It's built on principle.
Yes.
And that's what we're standing up for. The principle that I care about you, you care about me. All right? What we're talking about with this organization is a diversity of tactics. You want to go out and protest? We need that. We need people to feel like they can yell and scream and make their voices heard. But the thing is that our voices have to be heard in where the levers of power are as well. The left has abdicated elections to the oligarchs, to the billionaires, and to the career Democrats. No, screw that.
Right.
We're done with that. Now we can do it all. There's enough of us. We can do this. We can be diverse in the way that we approach this. Do not say, "Oh, well, you're a socialist. I don't want to work with you." Don't say, "Oh, you're a Democrat. I don't want to work with you. The only thing I want to do is this one thing." No, we're all together in this. We're promoting this platform, and we can do it together. All right, let's do it together. That's how we're going to do this. All right, I love you guys. Now, along these lines, I was crying this morning. I was listening to a speech by MLK. It was awesome that Troy brought him up. I was crying because here's this man, this beautiful man that everybody really appreciates so much. It's so amazing the things he's saying. And I'm listening to this guy, and he's talking about the oppression of black people, just in general, the oppression of the poor in this country. And I was listening to this guy, and here he is. He's talking in the '60s, the early '60s. He's doing all his work. And Black Lives Matter, his hero, to show us, no, it didn't happen, right? It didn't happen because we didn't think, oh, those people, those poor people, those marginalized communities, oh, they don't matter to us. They don't matter to me because they're not me, right? But what do we see today? What do we see today? More people. There's like greater wealth inequality than since the Great Depression, right? It's not enough to just say, well, I got mine. I don't have to worry about them. We're beyond that. We're past those, and that's what we're doing. We're working together. We're going to work together to do this, how do I wrap this up? I need your help. How do I wrap this up? FeeltheBern, my brothers and sisters. FeeltheBern, all right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Is there anything else? Am I good?
Well, thank you guys so much for being out here.
Thank you. Thank you. Follow up with us. Like, sign up. Follow up. Email us. Love you. Thank you, Julie. Love you, Julie.
Thank you to Edith.
Thank you, Edith.
Nobody wanted to do it.
Yeah, I saw it. Like nobody was like.
I'm not very good at taking notes. I just, even if I wanted to do it, I'd be bad.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'm just kind of like bringing it up, and should I just like?
Yeah, just send it to my large show.
And I tried to just type as much like kind of verbatim, but I just like kind of summarize it so that it's like.
Just send it raw, whatever you got.
Okay. I have a lot of notes.
But if it makes sense for you to summarize it, so we can.
Yeah, it's definitely readable, but I'll clean it up.
Excuse me, my name is Benjamin Gamil. One of the speakers mentioned Bernie's app.
Yeah, the Bernie app.
How do you get it?
So do you have like an iOS device?
Yeah, I got a Samsung Edge.
Android.
But
So I was actually looking at it.
Okay.
I had never looked at it. I can show you what I
please, because I know the talking points and all this.
I know. I was
when
like,
you got somebody in front of you, you know.
sounds pretty good. Yeah, exactly. I use Bernie's app. Did you get one of these sheets?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're saying.
This is right here. App on your cell phone, but I don't see it.
So for you, Android, you would go to Google Play Store.
Okay.
On your Android.
Okay, Google.
Yeah, Google Play.
Okay, Google
And then you
Play.
would search for Bernie or Bernie Sanders.
Okay, Bernie Sanders app or
Yeah, you don't even need to say app because it's
Bernie Sanders.
it's
Okay.
Google Play App Store. It should just come up.
Okay.
And now when I type in Bernie Sanders on my phone, I get like all these different apps. So some of them are just like this is a game. That's like a. So some of them aren't.
The one that she was referring to.
But the one she's referring to, she just said the Bernie
I mean,
app.
I know it's a lot, but
Yeah, I'm
That's
so
fine.
of these apps, I'm not exactly sure, but
which one is the one
I'm
you
guessing
use?
it's maybe this one, the Rally for Bernie,
Bernie? Okay.
because this is endorsed by the campaign.
Okay, Rally.
Yeah, so I would try Rally for Bernie. But I have to say, I'm not 100%
No,
sure.
no.
But if you search in the Google Play
I
Store,
tried.
they're all free. You can just like kind of try them out.
No, I know. It's just that I get nervous when I talk to people.
Yeah, no, me too. So it's like it helps to have all
like
this
right
stuff,
now in church,
like, in front
one of the
you.
guys, I'm voting for Trump, you know, this and that.
Yeah.
And I told him, listen, 'cause, I had my T-shirt, and then and I said, well, that's okay if you're voting for Trump.
Yeah.
But I gave him one of the cards, you know, with all the the
issues,
front
yeah.
but he got me by surprise. If I had the app, it would help me, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I'm the next time I go canvassing, I'm
Yeah,
gonna try to find
it's just that I was having trouble.
because there are so
I
many
turn it
issues,
off. Yeah.
and it's
No,
hard.
I know. I mean,
It's hard to have them all in the front of your mind and talk like articulately.
I was
about-
marching. You know, when we had the march.
Yeah.
Also, I had I was going to labor for Bernie, and a person approached me, started filming, and what are you?
It's
And
like
I just
you
went
freeze
blank.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, but
No, me too. It's not a strong suit of mine to talk.
no,
like,
that's
but
fine.
yeah, I think when you get, it would help a lot to have the app. So
Right. I mean, if you had the app,
just to kind of like
Yeah.
reference that to
Right.
make sure you're not making something.
even though you know the stuff.
Right.
Anyway, thanks a lot, Benjamin.
Yeah, no
what's your name?
problem. My name's Kelsey.
Kelsey?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, north. Just east. How'd it go with taking notes?
Good, I think. I think it went well. I don't know. I took a lot of notes.
Like you just wrote it as
I
they
was
were
pretty much
saying
just like, I'm
it.
working here for this and that. Maybe I'll turn it into like bullet points.
Yeah. When do you have to like present it?
People can also see their web.
I'm gonna get a photo of Oh, yeah.